Welcome back to some Minecraft. I'm Jade, and today we're out here at our villager project. With this project, we want to take the Minecraft village and turn it into our own unique village. And by the end of the project, I want to have all of the villagers living out here, all the different types, with all their different workstations. And I want all of them to have a house and to live safely out here on this island. So, in a previous video, we built about half of the village so far. But today I want to complete this other half behind me here. And by the end of today's video, I want to have this project completely done. So we've got all of our villagers over here in this wooden box, all stashed away in some boats. So by the end of the day, I want to have them out of this box and populating the village over there on the island. I want them to wake up in the morning and go to their workstations and then go to sleep at night. I want them to be completely safe from mobs. So we've got to fill out the rest of the island over here and then transport all these guys over there and get them set up with all their different workstations. But also, on this side of the river, I want to fill this area up with a bunch of farmland. Strangely enough, something I've always wanted to do in the game was to make some giant wheat fields. I don't really know how long it's going to take me to do, but I've got my hoe here, and I've also got a whole box filled with seeds. I don't know if this is going to be enough. Maybe we have to go back and get some more from our storage, but I'm hopefully it's enough just to get us started. I want to have a path coming from our bridge there and eventually leading all the way over to our beekeeper castle. And then on both sides of the path here, I want some huge wheat fields. So I'm interested to see how long this is going to actually take me. I'm going to keep a timer going as I do it, and then come back and let you guys know how long this takes. So let's get started. So, it took longer than I was expecting, but we're done with our wheat fields. All in all, the actual hoeing of the ground and the planting of the seeds, I think took just under 3 hours. But about halfway through, I ran out of seeds, and the only way to get more seeds was to go back through and tear down all the crops and replant to get enough seeds to expand even further. But the final product here, I think, looks pretty good. These giant, open fields of wheat. And then the path carries on this direction. We can go into free cam mode to see how it looks from the sky. I think it adds a lot to our village there. And I like how it looks. What we're going to do next is, I know we just planted all of this wheat. We're going to tear some of it down. We're going to have some paths coming off the main path here and leading to some little huts in the middle of the field. And then those huts are going to be home to some villagers who farm the fields. So that's what I'm going to do next here, is tear down some of this wheat, which is a little bit painful. But I think in the end it'll be cool to have some houses sticking out in the middle of the field, and then villagers can come outside during the day and harvest and replant all of their crops. So let me do that real quick and then bring you guys right back in. All right, we've added some huts into the middle of our wheat. And I even took the time to bring some villagers out here. So now they're out here and they come out into the field and they farm. Then they come back to their workstation and then they have a bed inside of their house at night. We got one house over here on this side, and then up the road a little bit, we got another house over here. One of the things I noticed though was when I was making these fields originally, as we go into free cam to look at this, I was making it all dry farmland. Because if any of this farmland was hydrated, it would be darker than the rest, and you'd be able to tell when you were looking at it from above. So I just wanted it to all look uniform, but I'm running into the problem where these guys will harvest the crops and then not place them back fast enough. So the farmland will just turn to dirt. And then there'll just be a bunch of spots left in the middle of my fields. So we will have to come in here and try to hide some water somewhere so we can get a lot of this farmland hydrated. But other than that, I'm liking the addition of these farmer guys out here. I also took the time to add another watchtower on this side of the river. And it's identical to that one over there. This one just has like a little awning that comes out the side. And this is where the villagers used to be, so I had to move the villagers up here into a box in the sky. You can tell by this iron golem who has spawned. But in this box, I've been breeding up more villagers, so we want to get every profession over in our village. So we need a lot of these guys. I've already got a few here, but I want to keep going. So I'm going to keep breeding these guys up as I also add some more buildings to our village across the river. I'm going to add a few more buildings and then bring you guys back in and we can take a look at them. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so we finished up another 1/4 of our village here, and we can take a closer look at it. So if we come down this main road, which leads into our village from our bridge, it takes you down to the village center, where the villagers have their well. And if you take a left here, this is where we've added in all the new buildings so far this episode. So a bunch of these buildings here are just empty, and these are just villager houses, where if we need more villagers, we can come in here and we can add a bunch of beds to these houses to up the population of our village. So these two are also just empty at the moment. But this one here is a special building. So this is where the villagers would make iron golems. So there'd be a villager who comes in here. He's got a good supply of iron. Maybe he's traded other villagers out in the world to get this iron. And he's got a pumpkin patch growing right outside his door, so he can harvest some pumpkins. Come in here and use whatever villager magic he might have to create an iron golem. And these guys go around protecting the village. So this is a unique building, and then this one over here is another unique building. This one is the butcher's house. So he's got the smoker, he's got a red bed, and then this is where he does all his work out here. So this netherrack is a good block to use for a butcher. Kind of looks like some meat hanging here from the ceiling, and this one with the quartz in it kind of looks like some bones, and they've got some entrails hanging down here with the vines, the weeping vines. And then out here he's got like a spot for some pigs. I've only found one pig so far, and I don't know how their pathfinding works, but this guy always wants to be over there. So he will swim across the river here just to get to the other side. And the cows do it sometimes. Like, see, that guy's trying to get somewhere. But they never wander off far enough to be on the other side. This guy will just be on way over there. He'll be on the other side of our village. So we might actually have to fence this off completely, which I didn't really want to do. But if we come back here, back down this road and take another left, leads over to a few more houses over here. And then this one is kind of almost a direct copy of one we have over there. This is a fishing hut. So a fisher would be in here. He's got his barrel, and he can step out here on this pier and fish this kind of lake here. But if we go into free cam, we can see that we've got like one more pretty big section here of our village that we need to finish. I also took the time while I was doing that to come over here and water some of this ground. And you can see what I was talking about earlier, how the hydrated farmland really stands out when you're looking at it from above. You can see I've got some water around the house there, and kind of was able to hide some water underneath the hill here. But it's still not working too great. There's still a bunch of dirt spots that keep popping up. So I'm wondering if we should just come in here and have like maybe like one piece of carpet right here with water underneath it. And then like maybe another piece of carpet, and just have the entire thing be hydrated land. So we never run into this issue where it's just dirt. But anyway, we've got to finish the rest of our village here. And this is the last stretch, so we've got this last patch of ground that we need to cover up with a bunch of buildings. And we're going to do that in a time lapse. And while we do, we're going to talk more about the history of the villagers in our world and go into some villager lore. So let's go. So in previous videos, when we explored the history of our world, we discussed how villagers first appeared during the Age of Crafters, and how they eventually had a major split with the Illagers. The Illagers embraced magic, while the villagers rejected it. Over time, humans and villagers have had a complicated relationship, sometimes allies, and sometimes enemies. And because of this conflict, they've kept their distance from one another. In the present day, villagers have become key trading partners for humans. They exchange food, tools, and resources with human settlements. But despite this cooperation, the centuries of separation have left a gap between them. Villagers and humans still live in their own worlds, and life inside of a village remains largely a mystery to most humans. It's well known that villagers are deeply religious, and the cleric villager is often seen as the village leader, though the exact details of village governance remains a mystery to humans. What we do know is that villagers dedicate their lives to mastering a single skill. Whether it's farming, masonry, fishing, or another craft, a villager takes great pride in being the best at one thing. Over the centuries, with constant raids from pillagers and the undead, the villagers have become extremely cautious of outsiders. As a result, they've built up strong defenses around their settlements, and one of their most known defenses is the Iron Golem, a massive protective creature that patrols the village and keeps unwanted visitors away. How exactly villagers create these golems is still unknown to humans, but some believe it may be a natural science, especially considering how strongly they reject magic. Different villages operate independently, and most villagers will never leave the one village they are born in for their entire lives. Since villagers rarely venture out and humans are rarely allowed in, certain individuals take on a unique role. Known as the Wandering Trader, these villagers travel beyond the safety of their homes, carrying goods from their village to trade with other humans in distant villager settlements. Despite this limited contact, human kings and nobles often regard nearby villages as part of their domain, treating the villagers as vassals. Even so, the villages themselves are typically left to govern their own affairs, maintaining a quiet independence within the borders of human lands. Well, the happy gas definitely makes transporting villagers a lot easier. It still just takes a long time. And it's taken me an even longer time because I decided to bring this happy gas over from our spawn area. I should have just made a new one over here, but I decided to take the one we already had, and it was a long trek to get out here. But now that we're here, I'm transporting the villagers over into our village 2 at a time. So I'm putting 2 in a boat, connecting them to the gas, and then carrying them across the river into the village. And I'm trying to drop them down close to a workstation, because I hope they can kind of hang out around their workstation and we get a good spread of villagers throughout the village. I know they like to gather in one spot, but hopefully during the workday they're all out and about throughout the village. So I'm going to get the rest of these villagers brought over here, and then we can take a look at the last few buildings that we've added to our village. Okay, it's time to take a look at the final 1/3 of the village that we've made. And don't count how many times I've said village in this video, because it's probably an absurd amount. But this first building we got over here, or this is actually the first building that we have, and it's the only diagonal that I've added into the village. It's just a small house, and not too much detail on this one. But this next one is the armorer. So this guy is perfect. He's in here working. He's got a suit of armor over here. He's got a big, like, furnace on the side of his house. And then, we added another librarian villager over here. So this is just the same building that's over there around the center. Oh, and now it's the middle of the day, so they're all gathering at the town square. So that's cool. We've got a few more fishing huts over here. Got the fisher in his house. This over here is another smoker, so this is another butcher. And he's got a pen out here that I have to fill up with animals still. But yeah, this building is the same as the first butcher house that we made already. So I have used or reused a couple buildings, which I think it's okay, because villagers in Minecraft, they reuse the same building. So maybe they have like a builder who builds their houses and he likes to use the same design. Iron golems are already spawning in the village. So these guys are just walking around, you know, patrolling the streets and keeping all the villagers safe. I've added lights on all the streets, just simple lights like this with a lantern on a wall and a fence. Sometimes it's a little bit shorter. Sometimes it's just on top of the wall. But I'm trying to make sure that there's no spawnable areas within the village. So I've gone through and I've added some lichen as well in spots that are really dark, like over here, just to make sure that there's no spawnable areas. I don't plan on being out in this area too often, but if I am, I don't want like zombies spawning and filling up the village, killing all the villagers. This is the inside of the armorer's house, so he's got, you know, a fancy house for this village. And then down this street, this is like the final road here. So we've got some more fishing huts along the river here. House down here. This one here is was once the Fletcher's house, but for some reason this guy's left the village, so who knows where he could be now. And then down this road, there's just a couple more houses. Some of them are the same. This one's got like a cool, this is a fisherman's house. It's got like a cool dock coming out the front here. And then at the end of this street, there is another watchtower, same as the other four that we've already made. So that's the village so far, and it's really come to life with all the villagers wandering around. And they're all going off to bed, hopefully. I do have one problem, and let's see if it's still happening. So yeah, the villagers, I made them, I had that box up in the sky over here, and that's where I bred them all. And at night, most of them all seem to want to go back there. And I don't know why. Very annoying. I've even gone into one of these houses and placed a whole bunch of beds. Just hoping to move the village center kind of like over this way. So like this house is just filled with beds, but that didn't really work that well. I mean, they used to all go over there. Now only a few of them go over there. But anyway, I'm happy with how our village has turned out. I think we've accomplished what we wanted to, what we set out and wanted to do. We've got a full village here. We can go into free cam and take a look at it from above. It's really filled out this entire island here. And then got the wheat fields across the river. So very happy with our custom village, all except these guys. And see, during the day, they're going to make their way back to their workstations. But at night, they just come out and they just sit swimming in the water. So, yeah, that's kind of strange. But anyway, I think we can call this project out here complete. But that concludes today's video. We finished completely transforming our village. And that's a project that I probably want to do again sometime in the future. The goal would be to have no more villages that are Minecraft generated. So like a certain area from our spawn, like all the villages are either torn down or, you know, custom made. And the custom made ones, they could all be different. Like the one we made today, their main export is wheat. But I've also thought about having another village like on the side of a mountain. And they have a whole bunch of stone masons and their main export is stone. And of course we can go there ourselves whenever we need to trade for quartz. But overall, I'm happy with how the village turned out. And I think we can do it again sometime in the future. But let's look at the comment of the day. Bro forgot the creeper farm. Love the tour though. Yeah, last episode we did a short tour of our world. And I just knew I was going to forget something. And we ended up forgetting to come out here and visit our creeper farm. So we do have a creeper farm out here. It's way up in the sky. Not really around anything that we've built. They've got a couple layers up there. And the creepers spawn there and then they drop down here where we can chop them. We can get XP, but the main thing is we get gunpowder from this farm that we make rockets from. And I use the Flight Duration 2 rockets just because we have a bunch of gunpowder. And I feel like it's a good mix between not going too far and then going way too far. Like the single gunpowder rockets, I feel like they don't give you enough boost. But then if you use the Flight Duration 3, then it gives you way too much boost. But anyway, this is our creeper farm. This is also where we come out and we cut down trees. So we used a lot of oak in that village that we made. So we'll have to get back out here, farm some oak trees. And this is our spruce tree. We've got like a bubble vader that takes you up to the top, and then you can drop down and chop down the tree. We also have some sugarcane growing out here that we just farm manually. I do think that in the future we'll do a more expansive world tour where we go into lore and everything. But just episode 20, I felt like it was a good time to look back. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the support on the series. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.